Among a million stars, a wish up there is ours. Maybe this time it all comes true. I was on my own until that day you came into my world, and it changed everything. Now I'm not alone, and I can see a brand new path appearing before my eyes, but I can't reach it alone. I need someone to show me the sky, and a voice on the wind tells me that maybe you could lead the way. Among a million stars, a wish out there is ours. Maybe this time it all comes true. Whatever comes our way, we'll face it unafraid and take this world on together.
Okay, hello to anyone out there watching. Let me just... Okay. So... I don't know what to say about this game. I kinda started this a little while ago, but I just can't get far through it. I thought it would be a good game to have fun with. Just like, I don't know, do stuff. So anyways, let's just get started. Okay, need a good guy name. Oh, what's... I was watching Metal Gear Solid. Like cutscenes earlier. Does Snake have a last name? Does he have a first name? Or was that just a joke? Alright, let's go with David, because that's what they say in the game. I think they're just like reference name checking the voice actor though. David. Well, sofa. Like, whatever. Okay, the library is far more quiet than I would have expected at this time of night. The only sound is the gentle hum of the air conditioner. Oh, that was too close. I blink my eyes wide open, then I stifle a yawn as I stretch to wake myself up. Focus. Finals are just around the corner, so I can't afford to slack off. Glancing around me, I notice that I'm the only person left in the study cubicles. It is getting pretty late. I'll go back to the dorms as soon as I finish this last chapter. I flip through the book. Only a few more pages to go. I can do this. Stealing my resolve, I refocus on my textbook. The word words on the book blur together as my eyelids grow heavy. I fight to keep my eyes open, but my lids continue to droop. I'll just rest them for a second. Just a second. Famous last words. Something jerks me awake and my eyes blink open. A bright light illuminates the room, blinding me until all I can see is a stark whiteness. I throw my arm over my eyes to shield it from the light. After a few seconds pass, the light seems to dim, but it doesn't feel like the same fluorescent glow of the library bulbs. Carefully, I unwind and bring my arm down, squinting at the pale blue sky. The mild breeze tussles my hair, blades of grass tickle my neck as they wave in the wind. Where am I? I'm about to push myself up off the ground when something pops into view. A round blue blob with two dark eyes blinks at me.
Boy?
It's a slurring. It bobs slightly like pudding. When it notices my stare, it opens its small mouth and takes a dainty bite of my nose. That's not nice. Hey! The creature's bite doesn't sting, but feels like a cool splash of water. Before I can take another, I scramble to my feet. The creature tumbles off of my head and falls to the ground. Once it lands, it shakes itself off with a gelatinous tremble, clearly unfazed. It hops into my foot and opens its mouth again, but I quickly shake it off. It rolls off my foot and into the dirt, then rights itself again.
Boy.
It melts and continues to watch me, but doesn't attempt another bite. What is that thing?
Boy?
It cocks its head as if wondering the same about me. That's unsettling. I take in the scattering of trees around me. Their tall branches kiss the sky. There's a winding dirt trail which weaves through the trees. As I follow with my gaze, I see smoke billowing out of thatched roofs of a village in the far distance. Where am I? The last thing I remember is studying at the library. That's it, I must have fallen asleep and I am now dreaming.
Boy?
Definitely. I glance down at the blue creature. What? And my responsive leaps up.
Boy!
Whoa! I scramble away from it and it lands back on the ground with a soft thud. That thing can jump pretty high. I need to be careful. What's your deal?
Boy!
It leaps again and I again retreat. Stop that! I dodge as it jumps, then I begin to run. To my surprise, the blob keeps pace with a series of nimble bounces.
Boy!
Seriously, stay back. It musters up one long leap, and I turn around the corner of a sturdy tree to avoid it. I don't notice the other person until too late. Gasp. We collide, and I lose my balance before toppling over. Fortunately, my hands catch myself, protecting my fall. When I open my eyes, I see a woman. Her eyes are scrunched shut, and her mouth is twisted in a grimace. Her long blonde hair is splayed out all around her. As she lets out a small groan, she blinks open her eyes and fixes her gaze on me. Oh, please. Maybe she can give us some answers to be practical here. Where am I?
Huh?
She still seems a bit dazed. Maybe I was being too vague. What are you doing here?
Looking for the...
She blinks away the confusion from her eyes as her voice trails off. Then she clears her throat.
Do you mind?
Mind what? I'm fine, actually. Oh. I push myself back to my feet. She gingerly pushes herself off the ground and winces. Are you alright?
I'm okay. Boy?
The creature is right by my foot again. Are you serious? You're still here? The woman looks surprised.
A pongo!
Oh. Pongo? Jeez, all that Pokemon last night is making me see things.
Oh, a man? Boy?
The Pongo bumps up and down by my foot and nudges me with its head.
Aw, he's a cute one!
Eek.
Yeah, you can tell by the shape of his eyes.
Strange. Oh,
I think he wants you to hold him.
it's trying to eat me. I thought that's what he wanted. He tried to eat me earlier.
Oh, don't be silly. He's harmless.
The woman leans down and reaches for the Pongo, but he hops away from her.
You'll probably like this hand better.
She extends her other hand and offers the Pongo her gauntlet. He stares at it before turning away and hiding his face behind my leg.
Boy! A pongo who refuses magic energy? Wait a minute. Are you a mage?
Of course not. I am a warrior. Grr. No wait, I always pick the fighter archetype.
A fighter? Where's your weapon?
I hold up my two fists. Oh wow. Right here. She raises an eyebrow.
You keep saying such strange things.
She holds up her gauntlet, and a faint pale light glows. It pulses rhythmically. As she holds it close to me, it quickens until the pulses almost look like one long pulse. She blinks in surprise.
Wait, this heightened energy activity, it's you?
She analyzes the magic swirly thing on her gauntlet.
I don't see a discharger on you.
It's very scientific, a very description swirly thing.
So then, how is it possible for you to have such a high magical energy reading? Are you carrying crystals?
No. Not that I know of. She looks me over again.
Never mind. It doesn't look like you're carrying crystals. Or anything for that matter.
I don't know what's going on right now. I was in the library studying for finals and somehow I wake up here. I woke up here.
Oh, are you from the Mage Academy?
The what?
Mage Academy.
I rub my temples. Okay, I think I've dozed off long enough. Time to wake up now. She blinks in confusion.
You are awake.
No, this is a dream. She
I
frowns.
can assure you this is not a dream.
Time for the pinch test. Is this actually real? She definitely seems real. And that fall certainly hurt. I surreptitiously pinch myself and try to hide my wince. I'm not convinced. Despite what you're saying, I'm not convinced.
Okay.
She pulls her hand back and strikes me soundly on the arm.
Still think this is a dream?
maybe. I'm less sure about it than before. She puts me again in the same spot.
How about now?
You might be onto something. Yep, you're right. This is not a dream. She gloats.
I knew you'd eventually come to your senses.
So if this place isn't a dream, then where are we?
We're in Meadow Hill.
Meadow Hill? Where's that? Or like doesn't clear anything up.
It's a part of the Kingdom of Havengard, of course.
Cool, yeah. Havengard? She looks at me like I'm crazy.
It's the largest of the 3 kingdoms. Actually, where are you from?
Oh, I'm from New York.
New York?
Yeah, you know, part of the USA.
USA. USA?
No, the United States of America.
The United States of what? Never mind that for now. If you don't have any crystals, and you don't have a discharger, have you casted recently?
He shook my head.
Then the amount of energy reading doesn't add up.
She rests her chin in her hand as she thinks. A shiver runs through me as reality begins to set in. This really isn't a dream. Any ideas? She shakes her head.
Maybe the Mage Academy can provide answers.
Mage Academy. That's a start. Sounds good to me. How do I get there?
Oh, it's in the center of Illumia.
Right. Where?
Illumia. You follow the path going north until you arrive at the crossroads. Then you head...
Her voice trails off as she notices my expression.
I'm actually heading back there now. You can come along if you want.
As I contemplate her of her, I look her up again. Can I trust her? Her posture is naturally straight and gives her an air of authority. She did mention she was out here on some sort of official investigation. Plus, she seems friendly enough. Besides, if I don't go with her, then I'll be wandering around on my own. Chances of me finding this Mage Academy alone without running into any unsavory people are not promising. Such a safe. I can't risk that. I need to find a way back home. So I nod. Thanks. I'm David Lasufa, by the way.
I'm Leanna. Leanna Dawn.
Nice to meet you. I hold out my hand for her to shake, but she just stares at it. After keeping my hand out for a few seconds, I begin to feel awkward. Her expression changes to curiosity, as she gingerly takes my hand. I grin broadly as I shake her hand firmly. She's a bit startled, but when our gaze meets, she matches my smile.
It's nice to meet you too.
I look at her questioningly as she continues to shake my hand. She sips her hand away and blushes.
Shall we get going then?
Ready when you are. Yana nods and brings us back onto the path. Then she walks in the direction of the village. The Pungo follows us, staying a step behind. We travel for quite some time together. It's been very silent. I wonder if I should say something. Let's go look at it. Without seeming too suspicious, I tried to get a better look at her gauntlet. What was that thing she was doing with it earlier? Yana notices me staring and shifts uncomfortably.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I was just curious about your gauntlet.
Oh, my manipulator?
Sure.
All mages have a manipulator. It's how we use energy to interact with the elements around us.
Wait, you mean you can cast spells?
I suppose that's one way to phrase it.
Whoa, can you show me something cool?
Like what?
Check myself. I get that reference. Anything. I don't know, do anything. Anna pauses while she thinks. Then her face brightens. She does a gauntlet and points towards the Pongo. He levitates in the air, much to the Pongo's surprise. As he hovers in the air, he looks in awe around him and opens his mouth, trying to eat the air. Leanna giggles and gently pays him back down. That was sweet. Oh, that was amazing. Hooray. Leanna smiles slightly as she brushes a stray lock of hair behind her ear.
It was nothing.
What else can you do?
There's a lot more my manipulator can do, but I think it's best if I conserve the energy for now.
I know, that makes sense. It glance behind us again, just as expected. The Pongo hops along. So the Pongo's still following us. Leanna glances back and grins.
That's not too surprising.
Why not?
Pongos are attracted to magical energy. That's why it was so strange that it showed no interest in my manipulator.
It's still following us though.
It's following you. My readings showed you're full of magical energy. As far as the Pongo is concerned, you're a buffet.
As I think over what Leanna said, I look at the Pongo one more time. This time he looks right back at me and his eyes crinkle as he splits into a huge grin. He leaps us into the air and reaches the height of my waist. Whoa. He jumps high again. Leanna giggles.
I think he's tired of hopping.
I guess it can be kinda hard to keep up when you're so much smaller than us. I hold out my hands and the Pongo hops right into my palm, but he doesn't stop there before I can react. He hops onto my shoulder and jumps again to land on top of my head. Oh, that's cute. I feel a cool wiggle in my hair. Leanna giggles again. What's he doing?
Nothing. He's just so happy.
She reaches out a finger to stroke the Pongo, who chirrups contentedly. Leanna's smile broadens, then she clears her throat as she tries to take on a more serious expression. Her steps quicken as she resumes walking. No, nothing I'm complaining, but what exactly were you doing out in the field?
The field?
Where you found me?
Oh, there have been rumors of high energy readings around Meadow Hill, so I was sent to investigate. I had already checked out the surrounding area, and there'd been no clear source for all that excess energy until today.
When you met me? She nods. I haven't been in the field for very long before you found me, though.
You might be a byproduct of whatever created the energy spike in the first place.
What do you think that was?
I'm not sure. I haven't seen readings of that level before.
A mystery.
The Mage Academy should be able to help explain.
I wonder what it takes to become a mage. So, besides magic, what else does the Mage Academy teach?
Oh, all the basics. How to use a manipulator, how to control your energy, the many usages and differences between crystals and spheres.
Crystalline and spheres? What exactly is this crystal stuff you keep mentioning?
You mean the difference between crystals and crystal spheres? Well, when we refer to crystals, we mean the raw crystals, whereas crystal spheres are the usable refined state.
that's helpful, but I mean crystals in general. She stares at me and narrows her eyes as if trying to judge if I'm serious.
It's the power source for, well, everything.
Everything? I look blankly at her.
You don't use crystals where you come from?
No. Her mouth falls open and she looks at me in bewilderment.
With no crystals, what else do you use to power things?
Lots of stuff. I count off on my fingers. The sun, water, wind, nuclear fission, fossil fuels like coal or oil. Her eyes widen with each item I list. She's about to speak, but I'm not finished. Geothermal, waves, tidal, hydrogen.
Okay.
She shakes her head incredulously.
I get it. You have your own methods of energy. Many methods.
Oh, there we go. I cannot see that. Sorry. Oh, I didn't skip those. Okay. Leanna's eyes sparkle as she falls into a pensive silence. A small smile plays at her lips while she considers what I've said. I might have overwhelmed her a little, but she actually seems interested in all our methods of harnessing energy. I listen for the sounds of wildlife as we continue walking. I can hear the usual song of birds and the faint whoosh of wings flapping in the air. Occasionally there's a rustle amid the trees, and I even swat at the bugs buzzing around my eyes. It all feels very familiar, reminding me of home. Leanna clears her throat.
So, you're from USA?
USA, but yeah.
Which kingdom is that in?
How should I phrase this? In the Kingdom of North America? She frowns and scratches her neck.
I'm a little ashamed to say I'm not familiar with that place. Where is it?
On Earth?
Earth?
Okay, time to take a different approach. Let me see if I can explain. Alright, tell me, where are we right now?
In Meadow Hill.
And where is that?
In the Kingdom of Havengard.
And where is Havengard?
In the land of Asaria.
And what is that a part of?
Terra, of course.
Okay, so Terra is my Earth. She pauses to let my words sink in, then she gasps.
Wait, are you not from Terra?
Nope. From what I've heard so far, I'm not. She looks concerned.
How did you get here?
The fuck should I know, lady? That's what I'm hoping the Mage Academy can tell me.
Right, but I mean, how did you come to Meadow Hill specifically? Do you remember anything before you were in the field?
I think back, I was studying in the library, and I'd been extra tired because that's the same day I have my evening class. And I still remember everything about me and my past. Yeah.
Well, at least we know you don't have amnesia.
I nod. She lapses back into silence, looking thoughtful. I have a lot to think about myself. My head is swimming with everything I've learned so far. Although there are some similarities between Terra and Earth, I've only scratched the surface on all the differences. I really hope the Mage Academy can help explain what is going on, and more importantly, how I can get back home. The pongo flips in front of my eyes, and I carefully scoop him back into place on my head. Whoa, what happened there? Did you slip?
Poi.
Is it my imagination, or did that poi sound a little sheepish? Rihanna looks over and grins.
You were trying to get a good look at our friend here, weren't you?
I feel movement on my head as I assume the pongo nods.
Looks like someone got a little adventurous and lost his footing.
Poi.
I let out a chuckle as Yana giggles. Once the pongo is secured, we continue walking. The sun dips in the sky and bathes the tips of the trees in a soft glow. My feet ache in protest with each step I take, and my legs are tight from all the walking. Finally, we come around the perimeter of the village. Liana grins as she leads me through the gates.
Here we are, Meadow Hill Village.
I take the time to catch my breath and discreetly rest my burning muscles. Liana hardly seems affected by the long trek. How was this close? I thought you said this place was close.
It is. It's only a half a day's walk.
I wait for her to say she's joking, but she's completely serious. How is that close? We should have just used Uber.
I'm sorry?
I shake my head. Nothing. She cocks her head curiously, then shrugs.
Let's continue. We can rest at the inn tonight.
As she resumes walking, I ignore my screaming legs and follow her. The village is still buzzing with people even at this time of day. I suppose they're getting in their last errands before nightfall. For the most part, everyone seems to focus on their own tasks. They barely glance at Liana, but when their gazes are drawn to me, they don't look away. In fact, their steps slow and they crane their necks as we pass. Now I know how an animal feels at the zoo. Just said animal. The fuck. Kauna overhears my muttering and watches the people around us.
It's your clothes. They're very peculiar.
Wait, what I'm wearing is normal where I'm from. Even though the stares are directed at me, Liana seems equally uncomfortable.
Okay, new plan. Let's stop by the shops before they close. We don't need to draw attention to ourselves.
I instinctively pat my back pocket where I keep my wallet. I doubt they'll accept card here. Or dollars. I don't have any money.
That's okay. I'll take care of it.
Thank you, I really appreciate it.
It's understandable given your circumstances.
I'll pay you back once I can. Lina smiles and nods. Now changes directions and leads me towards an adjacent street. There are rows of quaint shops lining both sides of the road. I read the signs as we walk on by. Edward's Apothecary, Blackstone Forge, Dragon Scale Armory. Huh.
What is it?
I was just thinking how convenient it is that everything's in English here.
English?
I should have expected the question based on how our previous conversations have gone, but I'm still a little taken aback. It's what we're speaking now.
We're speaking common.
You're common. What? Liana pauses in front of a shop and peers inside, satisfied. She motions for me to follow.
Never mind. Come on in. We're here.
I step into the shop and the first thing I notice is the overpoweringly musty smell of leather. It's not surprising considering the walls are lined with different types of leatherware. Yeah, it seems like it would be probably the only thing you would smell. What kind of observation is that? A small elderly man emerges from the back. A pair of round glasses sits on his nose as an apron hangs around his neck.
Welcome. Please, take a look around.
His smile falters when he notices me. Liana clears her throat.
We're looking for a new wardrobe for my friend here.
Yes, of course.
The shopkeeper blinks back to reality and resumes his pitch.
Well, you've come to the right place. We tan our hides and stitch the pieces ourselves. You won't find any finer quality than here.
Liana smiles politely and strolls towards the selections. I check out two seemingly identical leather vests, both of which are marked at different prices. I really can't see a difference between the two. Maybe they boost different stats. Hey, Liana. She turns around. Which one of these will increase my dexterity?
I suppose leather armor will allow for greater range of motion while still providing decent protection.
That's the benefit of the armor type. I mean, dexterity. She thinks. So, none of these raise any stats. Yana gives me a weird look.
Do your clothes where you come from raise stats?
Only if you consider cool points to be a stat. She looks just as confused as before. Never mind. She smiles as we continue perusing. One by one, Liana and I pick out my new outfit. Once all the pieces have been chosen, she goes to haggle with the shopkeeper. I tune out of their discussion and watch the people passing by. Their clothing are simple in design, meant to be more functional than aesthetic. To my surprise, everybody walks around armed. This village doesn't seem dangerous, but looks can be deceiving.
Why don't you get changed now? There's a space in the back to give you some privacy.
I now and take the clothes from her. Once I've ensured their privacy, I quickly get changed. Luckily these clothes have pockets and I can just transfer everything over. I palm my wallet, deck of cards, loose change, next is my phone. Heyo James, this is a Crystalline, or Crystalline? I think Crystalline. Yeah, it's a visual novel type game, a story, and it's like an Isekai kind of thing. This guy from like New York who's in college, like he just suddenly finds himself in a new world, and that's where we are right now. It's all like medieval and shit, and yeah, we're just in a shop getting clothes. Let's see. I try to turn on my phone just to see if it will work, but it doesn't react. The battery must be dead. I get the feeling they don't have wall chargers here. Checking it off, I slip my phone into my pocket too. When I emerge, Liana gives me a once-over. How do I look? She grins and nods in satisfaction.
Wow, look at you! Just like a native. This look suits you.
I match her grin. Thanks.
Let's go find the inn now.
She heads out of the shop and I follow her. Actually, maybe we can stop by the armory? She pauses and looks curiously at me.
Armory? You want to get a weapon?
Her question is careful, cautious. The goal is to blend in, right? It's weird that a person wearing leather armor is traveling unarmed. I look like a hostage or something.
You do have a point. Plus, it could come in handy.
Are we sure about that? Why do I not like the sound of that?
Do you know how to use a weapon?
Again, although her voice holds no hostility, I can sense her caution. I practice kendo competitively. She blinks. It's a type of sword fighting where I come from.
I see.
Liana falls silent as she gazes out into the street. After an excited pause, she nods. We head to the forge where rows of blades ranging from long swords to short daggers hang from the wall. Ooh, look at those guns. All the blades look fairly plain, but the steel edges glint dangerously amid the warm glow of the forge. Unlike the previous shopkeeper, the metalsmith ignores us as he pounds out a red-hot blade. Sparks jump from the clanging metal, reminding me of fireflies. So poetic. Leanna lets me browse the swords. I reach for one that catches my eyes. As I gently remove it from the shelf, I miscalculate its weight and drop it. The steel scratches the ground with a sharp screech. The metalsmith pauses in his work to glower a warning. Leanna looks on in shock.
Careful!
I quickly right the sword back up and grip it tightly. Leanna now watches me with intrigue.
Is this the first time you've held a sword?
Listen, lady. I lift, bro. Hey, I can handle this sword just fine. I'm just really sore because of all the lifting I did before coming here. Wow. Leanna's expression is hard to read.
Lifting.
Yeah, bro, I lift. I squeeze my biceps and take a practice swing with the sword. Wow. Feels good, man. Oh, that's meme-orific. Leanna stares blankly. I swing again, and the movement flows naturally. As the sword cuts through the air with a sharp twing, I can't help but admire how smoothly it slices. This is high-quality craftsmanship. Let's go with this one. As before, Leanna discusses with the shopkeeper. When she returns, I strap the sword to my belt. We make one more stop to gather supplies for our travel. By the time we're finished, the sun is set and the darkness blankets the sky. The town is aglow with soft lights. With soft lights glint from within the houses and the lampposts on the streets. As we pass by a lamppost, I peek inside and see a small crystal shining brilliantly. Using the lights to guide us, we find the inn. I take a seat at one of the crude tables while Leanna talks to the innkeeper behind the bar. There are a scattering of other patrons, mostly men, who sit alone, nursing a tankard of what I assume to be ale. I stifle a yawn now that I've had a chance to sit down. I feel the full weight of my fatigue. Luckily, Leanna returns and hands me a key.
This is your room for the night. It's right next to mine.
Thanks. Oh, you know what? Okay, let me look at that for a second with the sound. Oh, yes, okay. Okay, we'll see if that fixed it. Yeah, because I do have something else on. It's just like playing kind of like, just so I have something else going. Okay, that's what it was. Let me see. And then the thing was, I also had, I see what it was. Okay. Yeah, then also because I have different, like, settings. Yeah. I have different settings for different platforms. So, like, I have a set of settings, like, for PS3, another one for PS4, and another one for Steam games. I fixed a lot using the PS4 platform since I've been using it most, but then I forgot to also make those changes to the other ones, so yeah, that'll happen. One of the changes was like a background sound type thing. Yeah, that was a noise suppression, I think. I think that's what really did it. And also, yeah, I do have something on in the background, so I think that sound was leaking in. But I couldn't tell because of how the bar was, like, not moving. Okay. Anyways.
They should be coming out with our dinner soon. Then we should get to sleep. We have an early start tomorrow.
My stomach crumbles in anticipation. Sorry. Liana smiles as she sits in the empty stool next to mine. Our meals arrive, and I stare at the bowl before me. It's a goop thick stew and looks about as appetizing as dog food, but it smells pretty good. What is this?
It's stew.
Yeah, a kind of stew.
Rabbit.
A brief image of a cute, fluffy bunny flashes across my eyes.
Is something wrong?
I only... Okay, no, that's not funny. Is there normal stew? Is rabbit a common meat around here?
Mm-hmm. They're abundant and easy to trap.
What about beef? Their eyes widen.
You've eaten beef?
Of course.
That's a luxury meat here.
Seriously? Does that mean you've never had beef before? She shifts in her seat and stares at her bowl.
You should eat your stew before it gets cold.
I take a tentative bite of my stew.
How is it?
This is even better than I expected. Liana grins as she digs in. I finish eating and Liana clears her bowl, then the two of us head upstairs. She pauses in front of her room and I stop in front of mine. Good night.
Good night.
I'm about to enter my room when I hear a small voice.
Boy?
Looking down, I see the Pongo back at my feet. Now that I think about it, ever since we entered the village, he's been awfully silent. Have you been following this whole time, or did you lose us and find us again? The Pongo blinks twice and bounces.
Boy. Pongos aren't exactly welcomed everywhere.
Why's that?
Well, they absorb the energy around them, including crystals which are used to light lampposts, or other similar items.
I see how that could be bad.
I think this guy knew to stay out of sight once we came in here.
What if someone sees him here?
As long as he doesn't stray too close to a crystal, he'll be fine. People only make a fuss when it looks like their crystal might be drained.
Got it. She reaches towards the Pongo.
Do you want to sleep with me tonight?
Well, that's... I guess that's understandable, because it's, like, really different. Especially, like, where you're from, like, that's probably not something you see a lot, and like, yeah. I used to get weirded out too, but yeah. And then too, cause mostly the only blonde people I would see were like, fake blonde. So it was all just like one color, cause it was like bleached hair, and like that looks weird cause it looks artificial. But yeah, then like see like natural blondes or like different bleaching techniques, and I got used to it and it wasn't that bad. But yeah, I totally get what you're saying. Yeah, exactly. That's what I was thinking.
Boy.
The pongo snuggles against my leg, Liana's sighs.
I thought as much.
She opens the door and flashes me one last smile.
Sleep well.
She disappeared into her room. I open my door and step through. The pongo perks up.
Boy.
Yeah, let's let him in. I step away from the door and the pongo hops in. As I close the door behind him, he continues to hop around the room as if inspecting it. Yawning widely, I collapse into the bed. The pongo continues to circle the room. Are you looking for a good place to sleep?
Boy.
He suddenly leaps up and lands on my bed. Then he bounces to the foot of the bed and wiggles himself a cozy nest by creating a small crater on top of the blanket. I can't help but grin at the little guy. Good night, Pongo.
Boy.
Bye bye. Yeah, I get that, yeah. Yeah, and that's kind of like what I was mentioning with, people who like different bleaching styles and stuff, like, like once that became more of a style, like the bleach blondes, like, then like, where you just do like blonde streaks, or like blonde with like brown streaks, and like, yeah, that became a thing for a while. Or just like with red streaks or green streaks, or just like all kinds of colors. But yeah, that was a thing for a while. I roll over in bed, and it's not long before I'm fast asleep. Oh crap, my... I'm getting some serious lag, I don't know why. Okay, I assume my computer is doing something. Let's see here. Why is that on? Oh my god. Okay. Great, it just calmed down. Yeah, something was working in the background. But it's still being weird. I wonder if that's my connection. Well, I'm just gonna try and roll with it, but if it gets too bad, just let me know, I guess. Oh yeah, redhead. Like, yeah. Especially since they're, like, even rarer than the blondes. That makes sense. I wonder if that's why people used to think of them as, like, devilish or something. Since they're, like, so rare and, like, rarely seen. A knock on my door jolts me awake. I sit straight up in the bed and barely notice a tiny yelp as the pongo tumbles to the floor. Hello? The knocking stops.
It's Leanna. Are you about ready?
Just about. I rub my eyes and blink at the feeble rays of light outside. What time is it?
It's past dawn. We need to get a move on if we want to make a good time.
There's no good reason anyone should be awake at this hour. I attempt to lay back down in my bed when the knocking starts again. Alright, I'll be there in a minute. The noise stops. I yawn and stretch and notice the pongo on the floor. What are you doing on the floor, buddy? Weren't you sleeping on the bed? The pongo wiggles and shoots me an accusatory look. I glance at the slight indentation on my pillow and look at the blue mess on the floor. Sorry, I didn't mean to knock you off. He looks cautiously at me, then hops into the bed and up onto my head. He nips at my hair and then jiggles. I guess that means he's forgiven me. I push myself to my feet and begin getting dressed. Once I've grabbed all my things, I push open the door and nearly collide with Liana. Jeez.
Are you ready to go?
Yeah. Liana nods, then leads the way out the inn. I follow her through town as we head north. It's a lot quieter than when we first arrived. As the town gradually begins to wake up, we don't run into too many people on the street. Although the shops aren't open yet, I can see the shopkeepers busy prepping for the day. Right before we reach the edge of town, a guard stops us.
There's been heightened bandit activity reported on these roads.
Liana's brows crease.
Are the roads closed?
No, but until we get a handle on the bandit activity, we're advising everyone to stay in town.
We can't stay.
Where are you headed?
We're headed to Illumia.
The guard notices the sigil on Liana's manipulator.
You're a mage knight?
She nods. As the guard turns his focus to me, I draw attention to the blade on my hip. He nods gruffly, then moves out of the way.
Just be careful out there.
Thank you.
She motions for me to follow her. Once we're back on the familiar dirt path, I take one last look at Middle Hill Village before refocusing on the road ahead of me. Our trek along the path is peaceful. The forest gradually awakens with birdsong and the scuttling of woodland animals. Having grown up in the city, the sounds of nature still startle me, and I glance at every rustle of the leaves. Liana, though, seems unfazed. Her eyes routinely survey her surroundings. Suddenly she freezes. I nearly bump into her. What?
Shh.
I fall silent as she listens. When she speaks, her voice is a whisper. Yeah, the art is pretty nice here. It's very, like, smooth and bright and pretty.
Did you hear that?
I strain my ears, listening for anything out of place. Then I hear the voices among the trees. Bandits? A strangled scream pierces the air, scaring a flock of birds into flight.
Someone might be in danger.
Her previous caution abandoned, Liana spins towards the sound and I follow at her heels. We both take cover as the trees open up, revealing a man in a trench coat surrounded by 5 bandits. One more bandit lies motionless on the ground. Upon seeing their fallen comrade, the bandits all unsheathe their weapons. 3 of them hold long swords and 2 of them point guns. The trench-coated man doesn't stir. His dark hair falls over his eyes, and I can't see his face.
He won't get away from us this time. Take him out.
The man pushes open his coat and draws 2 guns as the bandits converge. Liana sets her jaw.
Stay here!
As soon as the words fall from her lips, she races out from the trees. Her hair whips behind her, and her white coattails billow in the graceful arc. She moves faster than any human, as if the air is pushing her forward instead of dragging her down. Her gauntlet hand clenches, and a blue sphere glows. And oh yeah, okay. It disappears as she smashes her fist into the nearest bandit. He flies away from her and crashes against a tree before crumpling into a heap.
A mage knight?
She must be with him.
Or she's after the bounty. Take her out too!
The mysterious man fires a hail of purple blasts at the bandits, catching one of them in the chest. Liana deflects the sword from another bandit with her own blade. I can't just sit here and do nothing, I have to help. Do you have to help? Ignoring Liana's command, I unsheath my sword and charge into battle. Why? Why would you do this? Click the matching icon. Yep. Gotcha. Yay! Liana breathes heavily as she surveys the bodies around her. She glances at me and the stranger who's still standing.
Anyone hurt?
I do a gentle pat down on myself and wince at my bruises. Nothing major. Yeah, that wasn't too bad for like a little matching game. That would have sucked if I got one wrong. That would have been like super embarrassing. Liana nods, then she fidgets with her manipulator. The man stays silent as he inspects his gun. Now that I have a better look at him, I realize that although his fierce scowl makes him seem tough, he doesn't look that much older than me. His hair has a habit of falling around his eyes, but as he pushes it back, I notice a long scar cut across one eye. Oh yeah. Once satisfied, he tucks his gun back into his belt and gets to his feet. He nods at us.
Thanks.
Then he turns away.
Wait!
He pauses.
Where are you headed?
Why?
There might be more bandits around. We should team up if we're going in the same direction. Safety in numbers.
He studies us in stony silence. Then his gaze flicks to our manipulator, and he relaxes slightly.
Where are you going?
We're headed to Illumia.
Me too.
Liana nods.
You're from the Mage Guild?
Yes, I'm Liana.
I'm David.
Zach.
All of us glance at the little blue pongo who seemingly popped out of nowhere. And this is our little friend.
I see.
The pongo blinks at Zach, who stares him down. The pongo bounces uncertainly. I know, it's like so... like... gruff and like edgy. Yeah, it doesn't sound natural. I think he's trying to like do like a Batman voice where he's like, you know, talking real low and like kind of like growly so that it can sound like more like tough or whatever. I don't know. But it does sound weird. Zach's unblinking stare never wavers, so Pongo scoots behind my leg for safety.
Now that introductions are over, Let's get moving.
Zack waits for us to collect things, and once we're all set, we head back onto the road. Liana and I lead the way, the Pongo keeping pace with us with Zack. Oh, well, Zack remains a few steps behind us. How does Zack know you are in the Mage Guild?
He saw my emblem.
She lifts up her arm and points to the sigil on her manipulator. What exactly does the Mage Guild do?
We investigate any type of magical anomaly. The Mage Guild in Havengard is actually headquartered in Illumia.
Sort of like a police force? Liana furrows her brow.
Police?
Like how detectives go out into the field to solve mysteries?
A little like that.
You guys have detectives? It now makes sense as to why both the guard in Middle Hill Village and Zack relaxed after seeing Liana's emblem. So, what kind of gun? What type of gun is Zack carrying?
You mean his discharger?
What's this charger? I hear a sound behind us. Zack raises an eyebrow when I turn to look at him.
Did you hit your head or something?
Pretty much. Liana looks a little uncomfortable.
He's not exactly from around here.
Zack crosses his arms.
I see.
There's a pause. So, a discharger?
It's a weapon that uses crystal spheres to power it.
So it is a gun.
Maybe?
The spheres are the bullets. Well, it's kind of the magazine in some sense because it's used to fire bullets, or in this case, bolts of energy. Liana looks uncertain. Although it made sense in my head, I can see why she might be confused. Yeah, because she doesn't know what a freaking gun is. Never mind, I got it, thanks.
Sure.
She smiles. I feel Zack's gaze on me, but his expression is hard to read. Liana, I saw you during the fight. How were you able to move so fast?
Oh, I cast wind magic to manipulate my movements.
Oh, so like putting on the speed buff.
They're small adjustments, like shifting the draft to move me forward, or using a breeze to help lift me during jumps.
Damn, that sounds awesome. She
The
grins.
next time you're lagging behind, I'll use my wind to give you a little boost.
That would be amazing. I can already imagine myself running like the wind. Liana seems pleased by my reaction. Well, it looks like the guard was telling the truth. There definitely are bandits on this road.
Yeah.
There's something in her voice which makes me think she doesn't completely agree. What is it?
It's just, well, for bandits, they were pretty well equipped.
She stares hard at Zack, but he doesn't react. What does that mean? Are they not bandits? Liana continues to look at Zack.
I'm not sure.
They were bandits.
She looks sharply at Zack, obviously caught off guard.
Sure.
It didn't sound so convincing. The subject drops, but I still feel a little uneasy. Those guys weren't bandits, then who were they? And why were they attacking Zack? The questions circle my mind as the conversation lulls to silence. Liana leads the way, though she seems to have something on her mind. Zack trails from behind. He remains on heightened alert. We travel together for quite some time, with no further interruptions. I can feel my legs start to burn from all the walking. Liana squints at the sky.
We should make camp before it gets dark.
Zack nods.
There's a good spot up ahead which hides us from view. It'll still give us visibility on any intruders, though.
Sounds good. what I was gonna say. Zack leads the way, and soon we reach the clearing. Three of us get to work on setting up camp. I roll out my bedroll near the campfire and notice how thinly it spreads on the ground. Can this thing really be comfortable? Guess there's only one way to find out. I lie down on the bedroll and place my hands behind my head. This isn't as bad as I thought. A yawn escapes my lips. I could definitely fall asleep here. Ooh, that looks beautiful. I like it. My gaze lingers on the night sky above. The moon hangs in the inky sky, dotted with so many pinpricks of silver light. They sparkle vividly, as if trying to chase away the dark. I breathe out a breath in wonder. I never knew that stars could shine so brightly. I try to pick out a few constellations, but the star patterns above are unfamiliar.
What are you looking at?
I quickly sit up at the sound of Liana's voice. She holds two steamy bowls in her hands. I accept one of the bowls with a smile as she sits beside me. Just admiring the sky. This place is really beautiful. Back where I live, you don't get to see so many stars.
How come?
Light pollution. Our cities are filled with so much light that it drowns out the stars. Liana gazes thoughtfully at the sky.
Right. It's a little harder to see the stars in town than it is out here.
I shake my head. That's not the same. Some nights I don't see the stars at all. Her eyes widen in surprise, and she places her chin in her hands.
A night sky without stars.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. She looks at me.
What's your world like?
I mean, yeah, about the same. It's kind of like here, but kind of different. She stares at me, waiting for me to elaborate. We don't use crystals or have magic, and we definitely don't have pongos. I glance at the pongo snoozing beside me. Liana smiles, his soft snores. But we do have forests and towns. We speak languages and have our own versions of academies and shops and guilds. We also have weapons and martial arts.
Like Kendo.
Yep.
That sounds like it'd be an interesting place to visit. I wonder what it's like to live in a world with no crystals.
Dirty. Really dirty. She tilts her head back and returns her gaze to the sky. Underneath the moonlight, her pale skin seems to glow amidst the darkness. Her face softens as she smiles.
You're right. The stars really are beautiful.
We fall into a comfortable silence as we enjoy the tranquility of the night. After we've finished eating cleanup, Zack approaches us.
It's getting late.
Alright, so... Liana
I'll
nods.
take first watch so you can rest.
All right. I'll take second watch.
I guess that just leaves me with third. Zack stares unblinkingly at me while Liana coughs nervously.
That's okay. We had an early start, and I'm sure you're tired. We should rest up and sleep through the night.
Do you guys not trust me? It almost sounds like you guys don't trust me. Although I try to keep my tone light and joking, Liana looks guilty.
No! That's not... I mean, it's not that we don't trust...
Yes.
She looks sharply at Zack. His arms are crossed, but his expression doesn't change. Seriously? Zack nods towards
She's
Liana.
part of the Mage Guild, so I know she won't pull any tricks. I don't know anything about you.
I'm sorry.
As the fire in my mind abates, I realize Zack has a point. I've given no reason to trust me. And if I were in his shoes, I'd be just as cautious. I nod. Alright, I suppose that's
I
fair.
better get to sleep then. Good night.
Good night. Sack nuts. Ayana flashes me one last smile before crawling onto her bedroll. As she lies down, Zack positions himself against a tree and takes a seat. Yeah, let's get to know Zack. He's so mysterious. If we're going to be traveling together, I should make an effort to get to know what kind of person he is. I walk over to Zack. Hey. Mind if I sit? He gestures for me to join him, so I do. Obviously, I'll have to lead the conversation. So, how's the weather? Zack stares. Alright, let's switch gears. Are you a cat or a dog person?
Is this going anywhere?
Listen, man. I'm trying to build up some trust here, but you've gotta meet me halfway. Zack looks away. Great, I guess he doesn't want to talk.
Dog.
What?
I prefer canines.
Oh, cool. The silence creeps in again. So we're all going to Lumia.
Yep,
What brings you there?
I'm meeting someone.
Oh, a friend?
Someone from work.
What do you do?
I'm a mercenary.
This explains so much. It all makes sense now.
What does?
Everything about you. The angst, that hard-boiled exterior, the frequent cold shoulder. You're totally the brooding main character from one of my JRPGs. Wow.
What are you talking about?
He stares at me and I smirk. That's exactly how one of those MCs would react.
So, why are you going to Illumia?
Leon is taking me to the Mage Academy. He studies me again.
Are you a mage? You don't have a manipulator.
I shake my head. No, I'm looking for answers. He nods in understanding and does a pry. Although I try to stop it, a yawn escapes.
You should get some sleep. We have an early start in the morning.
That sounds familiar. Push myself to standing. Good night. I lie down on my pillow and scooch around to get comfortable. I try closing my eyes to sleep, but something still doesn't feel right. Oh yeah, I need a pillow. Seeing up, I look around for anything I can use. My gaze falls on the Pongo, who now rests beside Liana. Pongo pillow. This is happening. Psst. Pongo. The Pongo blinks, open bleary eyes, but pricks up when he notices me.
Boy?
Come here. Yeah, it is an interesting world. I played some of this before, and just like, yeah, the whole like magic and like crystal, like based world is kind of interesting. Whoops. Come here. Boy, Pongo. He happily bounces over. When he comes within reach, I make a grab for him and plunk him on my bedroll. He squeaks in protest as I lay my head on him. Like a slippery eel, he wiggles himself free and bounces back to lay on his side. No, Pongo.
Boy!
He glares suspiciously at me. He turns his back to me and cuddles against Liana. I sigh. Well, I guess I have no choice but to make do with being pillowless. Lying back down on my pillow, I close my eyes and eventually drift to sleep. A dull throbbing in my back pulls me awake. I hadn't fully appreciated the magic of mattresses until now. A yawn escapes and I stretch widely. Aside from the achiness, I actually feel well rested. I sit up and glance around. Zack leans against a tree with his head down. His hair covers his eyes, so I can't tell if they're open or closed. Regardless, his hands rest on the handles of his dischargers. Creepy. Looking around again, I fail to spot Liana. Where did she go? I think I hear her cry in the distance. Is that her? I should go investigate. Crossing over hill, I see Liana practicing in an open field. She grips her blade in a fighting stance, her face stern with concentration. She swings her blade in a high arc, ending with a graceful spin. Judging by how fluid and accurate her movement is, it is clear she's dedicated many years perfecting her craft. Her hair whips around her as she turns, but never seems to blow in her face. Even with heavy armor, her movements are still nimble, as if she's wearing no armor at all. I wonder if all that has to do with her wind magic. When she notices me, she lowers her sword.
Oh, sorry. Did I wake you? I moved out here so I wouldn't disturb you.
No, I was already up. I didn't see you at camp, so I came looking.
Gotcha.
Glancing down at my feet, I spot the beaming Pongo. Yana giggles.
Looks like you guys are best friends already.
We're like a sucker. The best of friends, isn't that right? The Pongo nods excitedly. It's really early. Do you always begin your mornings with a warm-up? Liana nods.
It helps me wake up and prepare for the day ahead. Also, it's become a part of my routine, so it just doesn't feel right when I don't do it.
Well, good for you. I know what you mean. I can't really go through my morning routine from Earth here on Terra, and it feels a bit strange.
Right.
Liana looks down. The awkwardness creeps into the silence. She probably took that in a negative way, which wasn't my intention. That's okay though, I can always make a new routine.
New routine?
I unsheath my blade and grip it. This morning practice you do seems like a good place to start. She grins.
Considering how well you handled yourself yesterday, I'm curious to see what's the extent of your skill set.
I smirk. That was probably it, actually. Only one way to find out. So what's the lesson today, Senpai? Oh, he did not.
Sand pie?
I shake my head. Never mind. She blinks and refocuses and matches my fighting stance by raising her sword.
Since you already have some experience with the blade, sparring will be the best way to gauge your skills.
I'm ready. I tighten the grip on my blade. Ready when you are.
Here I come!
Liana dashes towards me. Her movements seem slower than what they were during the bandit fight. It seems like she isn't using her wind magic. Ooh. Pick the icons as fast as you can. Okay. I know, Senpai, I'm like... At least the other ones I kinda have a choice to be cringe, but that one just happened. Alright, click the icons as fast as you can. Let's do this. Nope. Oh. Somehow, I managed to keep pace with her. Every time I think I'm about to get the upper hand, her intensity increases until we're equally matched again. Even so, I could feel her holding back. Without using magic, Mage Knights are still a formidable opponent with a sword, especially if they're anything like Liana. Alright, calm down there. I hurriedly block with my sword, but I lose my balance in a hurry and topple to the ground, landing on my back. Right? Well, whatever, we're fighting. Leona kneels down beside me.
Your fundamentals are solid. If you keep practicing, I'm sure you'll be a formidable warrior in no time.
That's pretty high praise when it's coming from you. Great. She smiles and blushes. Leona extends a hand and helps me back onto my feet.
It would be better if I could watch you spar with someone else. That way, I can see your movement from different angles and give you better feedback.
If the Pongo can use a sword, the only other option is Zack. I look around and spot Zack, leaning against a tree closer to our sparring location. He watches us with his arms crossed. Wait, how long has he been there? Leona rushes over to him.
Zack!
Hmm?
Would you be willing to duel with him? I'd like to get a better look at his technique.
He merely stares at her.
Oh, right. You need a blade.
Leona hands her blade to Zack. He takes it from her and inspects it.
What are the rules of the duel?
Standard spar. Be the first one to knock your opponent to the ground.
Zack nods and heads towards the field. As Leona returns to me, we share a glance. That was surprisingly easy. I guess it's not in the mercenary's nature to back down from a fight, even if it's a big one.
Are you two ready?
I step a decent distance away from Zack and ready my blade. Yep. Zack continues to stand there. I look at Leon again and she just shrugs. Nods.
Okay, begin!
I rush forward. And suddenly I'm on the ground, staring up at the sky with an aching pain in my chest, and the wind knocked out of me. I groan.
Strange. I thought he'd last at least 2 shots.
Zack!
What?
Why did you use your discharger?
Why not?
Leona steps forward.
The whole point was to have a sword match with him.
You didn't list that as a rule.
Her frustration is evident in her voice.
Why else would I give you my sword?
Why did you give me your sword?
For you to use!
She snatches her blade back from Zack and heads over to me.
Are you hurt?
My pride. So this is what it feels like to be emasculated twice. Yeah, eat shit, noob. My gaze drifts past Leona to the blue sky behind her. At least the view is nice. Leona helps me up again.
The one and only lesson you need to know when fighting. Do whatever it takes to win.
As soon as he's done speaking, Zack turns around and heads back to the campsite. Alright, Edward. That sounds just like what the angsty badass MC of a JRPG would say. The type of thing. I mean, she seems like really just. I don't know if there is a type. I mean, she just seems like very, like, sweet and wholesome. And she's just like the nice one. I kind of feel like she would be the character that would be like the childhood friend. Like, but she's not a childhood friend because you just met her. But I think she has like that character type in where she's just like super nice and positive and like nice. That's what I'm getting. My suspicions were correct all along. Leona huffs.
Mercenaries can be so annoying sometimes.
Agreed. I won't argue with that. We pack up our things and clean up the campsite. Then we continue our journey. As we walk, we slip into uncomfortable silence. Zack lingers behind Liana and I. Zack lingers behind Liana and I while the Pango returns to its usual spot on my head. After a few hours, it doesn't feel like we're getting any closer. So, how long until we reach Illumia?
We'll need to stop at Raven Pass to restock and spend the night. But if we continue to make good time, we'll reach Illumia by midday tomorrow.
Good lord. One more day of walking. If only I had brought my BitFit, I would have my daily steps done for a lifetime. I nod and we fall back into silence. By mid-afternoon, we arrive at the gates of a settlement even smaller than Metal Hill Village. The town consists of an inn and a few shops, the bare essentials. They probably only ever see travelers like us, people passing through on their way to Illumia.
Okay, we should stock up on supplies.
I'll be making a stop at the weaponsmith.
Zack puts the two holstered dischargers by his side. Now I think about it, I only saw him use one during the bandit ambush. The other one must have already been damaged.
I'll check out the shop since my weapons are okay on repairs.
I'll go with you. Liana smiles. Zack nods.
See you soon then.
Bye-bye. He turns down another path.
Let's go!
Liana smiles back at me as she leads the way to the shops. Wait up. Wait for me. We find the general store with ease since the marketplace itself is quite small. In fact, I'm surprised by how busy the store is. I guess if you're the only general store around, business is bound to be good. As Yana picks out a couple items, I look around the shop. I notice people of all backgrounds, wearing clothes ranging from the leatherite seen in Mill Hill to intricately embroidered robes. They really do get all types traveling through here. Once Yana is finished, I follow her to the cart counter to pay for our items.
Will that be all for today?
Liana nods.
Your total comes to 34 coins.
Liana's eyes widen.
34 coins for these? It should be at most 30.
The shopkeeper frowns apologetically. He doesn't seem too happy about the price either.
I'm sorry, miss. The goods themselves are only 20 coins. The rest of the cost is the 70% tax.
Oh shit. And I thought taxes in America were bad. I hope you at least get free universal health insurance and education with those taxes. Oh yeah, you're right. She does. I do see how that voice is reminiscent to Starfire. Yeah, the voice actress is different. At the beginning of the stream, the credit sequence played and showed the different characters and the names of the voice actors. But yeah, it wasn't her, but yeah, it's similar. I totally see that. Or hear that, as the case may be. Both Liana and the shopkeeper look at me in confusion. Liana furrows her brow.
I don't remember the tax being so high in the past.
The mayor only recently increased the tax.
Has no one asked why? It doesn't seem fair.
Demand that.
We did in the beginning, but then the mayor hired enforcers of the new law.
Leona frowns, but doesn't say anything more. The shopkeeper continues to look apologetic as he gestures at her items.
I'm really sorry about this, miss, but I don't have any other choice.
Well,
I understand. It's not your fault.
she hands over the coins.
Thank you for understanding. Safe travels.
Oh yeah, that's fine. That makes sense. Yeah, but like she's just supposed to be like all like childish or like just like weird and not understanding. Yeah, but she's the competent one between the two of us. Are you okay?
Something about this just doesn't seem right. New tax rules and new guards to enforce them? I came through here only a few days ago on my way to Meadow Hill, and the tax hadn't been changed then. It all seems too sudden.
Let's investigate. We should find out what's going on here. Leona blinks.
Really?
Hang on. We can't just leave it alone if something foul is at play here. Well, gang, it looks like we've got a mystery on our hands.
You're right. Anyway, let's go meet up with Zach.
We make our way to the lane of armory and smiths and peek through a few shop windows before we spot Zach. A guard looms over him. Uh-oh, this doesn't look promising. Leona frowns as we enter the shop.
This doesn't concern you. Stay out of it.
It became my concern when you threatened him in front of me.
Threatened? All I told him was what may happen to his store if he doesn't pay up for these protective services.
Leave. Now.
The guard laughs.
What makes you think I'd listen to you?
Zack glares at the guard as he flips open his coat and reveals his discharger. He grips the second discharger on the table. The color drains from the guard's face.
2 dischargers with purple spheres and a black trench coat. It can't be.
Zack shifts slightly, increasing the ferocity in his eyes. The guard tries to hide his fear with false bravado. He turns towards the shopkeeper.
You're lucky your friend was here today. He won't always be here, though.
After imparting one last subtle threat, the guard hurries out of the shop, brushing past Leona and I. Zack relaxes and the shopkeeper sighs in relief.
Thank you.
That have to do with this new tax you mentioned?
The shopkeeper nods.
The taxes just keep growing. I've tried to keep my prices as low as possible for the customers, but then our taxes grow and, well, you saw what happens next.
His fingers tremble as he takes back the discharger. I think he's still shaken up by what happened.
I'm sorry. I still need a few more minutes to finish up the repairs. It would have been done by now if we hadn't been interrupted.
Zack nods. The weaponsmith gives him a grateful smile as he returns to his workroom. Tax issues again.
It looks like it's affecting all of the stores, and it's only going to get worse.
I'm not going to let it escalate.
Leona and I glance at Zack in surprise.
You two head to the inn. I have something to take care of first.
What are you planning to do?
I'm going to pay a visit to the mayor.
The good Samaritan mercenary. A gun for hire, working for free. For a second, a shadow of regret crosses his face so quickly, I wonder if I actually saw it. It's soon replaced with his usual blank stare.
I'm sure a sizable reward will be offered by the shopkeepers for lowering their taxes.
Now I know he's just acting tough. Even if the shopkeepers did want to give a reward, I doubt they have the money for it right now. Leona frowns.
As much as I disagree with your reasoning, I also want to get to the bottom of this.
See, I told you, he's trying to do the bad thing. As much as I disagree with you. Oh, wait, she said that, yeah. I'm into. The shopkeeper returns and places Zach's discharger on the counter.
All fixed.
Thanks. Here.
Zach offers coins to the vendor, who shakes his head.
Please, don't worry about it. You've already done me a huge favor by helping me with the guard.
Zach holsters his discharger, places the coins on the counter anyway.
I insist.
The shopkeeper looks conflicted, then sighs and nods gratefully. Zach leads the way out of the shop and through the town. His footsteps are long and full of purpose, which is a change from his quiet, cautious demeanor. I can't help but look at him with a newfound respect. It is the first time I've seen him so determined and driven. Soon we arrive in front of a large, elaborate mansion. It looks very out of place compared to the modest shops in the rest of the town. 2 men guard the entrance. Zach pauses and sizes up the guards. Ooh, yeah, sneak attack. I thought they'll just let us walk in to see the mayor. Zach nods and releases this charger.
Agreed.
What are you guys planning?
We'll knock them out and make our way in. Zach blinks and fills with his discharger.
Right. Just knock them out.
God damn it, Zach. Leona looks at Zach.
I don't agree with this decision. We don't know for sure these guards are bad.
But we don't not know. I think. I mean, but what about the other guard? I mean, Zach and I'll take care of it. Okay, then stay back and let us handle it.
Wait!
I walk over to the guards.
Halt! What is your business?
A bolt of energy knocks him back against the door, and he crumples to the ground. Before the other guard can react, I strike him square in the chest with the hilt of my blade. He gasps as the wind is knocked out of him and kneels over.
Good work.
He nods. Leona rushes forward and checks him for a pulse. After a moment, she sighs in relief, then rolls on us.
You do realize you just assaulted official guards, right?
I mean, it's not like we live here. We're leaving tomorrow. Fuck this place.
It wouldn't be the first time.
Okay, alright, cool guy. Leona's glare is cut short by the glow of her manipulator. It pulses similarly to when she originally scanned me for magic. Gasp. She hovers her hand over her manipulator and looks inside the building. Oh yeah, it totally is a visual novel. Yeah, that's what I said. It's a visual novel. Well, I guess I shouldn't have said visual novel game, because that implies that it's a game. But no, it's a visual novel. Oops, wrong screen.
You guys coming?
Zach is already on the screen. Liana looks annoyed but follows, checking her manipulator. She may not be happy with this, but she seems more concerned about her manipulator's random magic sensing. Zack leads the way again. We fall behind as Liana fiddles with her manipulator. As we progress to the mansion, we pass unnoticed by the clerks and guards milling about. They must assume we have a reason to be here if we got through the front door. Liana stares intently at her manipulator, her brow furrowed in confusion.
This doesn't make any sense.
What is it?
The readings. They're so erratic. It's almost like there's... But there can't be.
Okay. There's what?
Shadow magic.
Zack looks sharply at Liana.
Shadow magic.
She reluctantly nods. Zack sets his jaw and tightens the grip on his dischargers. So, shadow magic. Don't mind telling me what that is?
It's forbidden magic.
She's entirely focused on her manipulator.
It's coming from...
She jogs down the hallway and stops in front of the mahogany double doors.
behind there.
Suddenly, a voice calls out from behind us.
It's you!
Oh? Standing down the hall is the same guard from the shop.
How did you get in here? Intruders!
Well, shit. All eyes fall on us as he begins yelling. The guards who previously ignored us now draw their weapons as they close in. Zack pulls out his dischargers.
You go deal with whatever that is. I'll keep them busy here.
Zack kicks down one of the tables and drops behind it for cover.
Go! Now!
As he raises his guns, purple energy sprawls to life. He rains a hail of energy balls down the hall and suppresses the fire. Pew 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 pew. Liana bursts through the doors and I stay at her heels. The noise from the battle gradually fades away as we run deeper into the mansion. Eventually, the hall leads into a study. A carved wooden desk laden with books and ledgers is in the center with bookcases surrounding it. A man wearing a hooded dark robe sits at the desk. He scribbles something with one hand, while the other hand is hidden within his robe. An older man sits on the other side of the desk. His graying hair sticks out in strange angles, and his embroidered clothes are slightly askew. He stares at the open ledgers on the desk, but his eyes are dull, as if they aren't really seeing it. Two guards stand by the doorway, as still as statues, with those same dull eyes. The treasurer rises to his feet.
Who let these two in? I explicitly said no visitors.
Liana's manipulator pulses wildly, especially when she raises her arm.
It's him! He's the source of the shadow magic!
Neither the mayor nor the guards react.
How dare you make such accusations! Arrest her immediately!
The guards ready their weapons. Stop, we aren't here to fight you.
It's no use! He's influencing them with shadow magic!
I mean, that much was obvious. Like, seriously, dude. A gust of wind gathers around Liana, violently ripping her hair and clothes. It concentrates in her gauntleted palm, and she hurls it at them. The wind knocks the guards against the walls and blows open the robe of the treasurer, exposing his hidden hand. Ew. Within his palm is a dark crystal sphere. It looks like a marble of darkness and swirling smoke. Dripping in the crystal are shadow tendrils, which extend to the mayor and his two unconscious guards. Liana's voice is flat when she speaks. I've never heard her voice sound so serious before. Good enough.
A tainted spear, and the branding of void.
You You have seen too much.
The treasurer raises the black sphere high and shadow energy shoots straight towards Liana. She raises her hand and creates another ball of wind which she fires at the shadowy ball. The shadow ball cuts through Liana's magic like a knife through butter, and her wind scatters harmlessly into the room. Liana! I dust towards her and knock her out of the way. I take the full brunt of the shadow blast and I'm flung back against the wall. Agony sears my body. I grit through the pain and look at Liana. It doesn't look like any of the magic hit her. She rushes over, her face a mix of bewilderment and concern. Painful AF. It feels like my body is being eaten from the inside out. If it's alright with you, I think I'll lay down for a bit and die, if that's cool with you. Liana furrows her brow in concern. Can you go deal with him so my suffering is not in vain? Please and thanks. Liana unsheathes her blade. A determined fire in her eyes, she faces the treasurer and raises her sword. Ooh, action time. Or well, just an action shot, really. Her manipulator glows with power which flows into her blade, encasing it in a similar glow. Magic particles swirl around as static sparks of energy lash out from her weapon. In an instant, she dashes towards the treasurer at an inhuman speed. She fires 2 shadow bolts, but Liana uses her blade to cut through the air and shoots off 2 slices of energy which cut through the shadow magic.
What?
Yeah!
Liana lunges and charges her blade towards the treasurer. Just before her sword would pierce him, the treasurer throws his tainted sphere to the ground. It shatters apart and the shadowy mist leaks out of the orb, enclosing the room in a dark fog. The thick fog clouds my vision so I can't see anything. As it slowly begins to fade, I make out Liana watching her surroundings, but the treasurer is nowhere to be seen. When she doesn't see her enemy, the glow from her sword fades away.
Oh.
The mirror lets out a throaty groan. He rubs at his head, his eyes now looking groggy, like somebody who has just woken up.
What is...
Liana sheathes her blade.
Take it easy. You were under the effects of shadow magic.
shadow magic?
He shakes his head as if to free his thoughts. He must be trying to shake off the lingering effects of the magic.
Is it finally over?
Liana nods. The mayor takes a few more minutes to compose himself. When his eyes seem more focused, he sighs in relief.
You have my thanks.
Suddenly, the door barges open and Zack races in. Behind him is a wave of guards.
Stop him!
He's with us!
The mayor stands unsteadily on his feet but addresses the guards.
Leave them be! But I said leave them be!
They hesitate and shoot confused glances at each other, but ultimately follow the order and lower their weapons.
Took you guys long enough.
Hey man, get crazy in there.
What are you doing down there?
I groan as I rotate onto my back. Liana offers me a hand, which I accept.
He took a shadow blast. Aimed for me.
Zack blinks in surprise but looks impressed.
Seems like you ended up being useful after all.
Yep, meat shield, that's me. Thanks. Liana checks her manipulator, but it remains still.
The shadow magic is gone.
The mirror seems much more alert.
It was my treasurer, wasn't it?
Liana nods. He sighs heavily and sits back down in his chair.
When he first arrived into town, I thought he would be like all the other travelers and go on his way. But he said he knew how to make this town even greater than what it is now. He had ideas on how we could become more than just a wayward stop. The first step was to increase taxes to build up our treasury.
He hangs his head in his hands.
All I wanted was to help the people here have better lives. But all I've done is cause them suffering.
You weren't in control of yourself.
But it was me who made all the rulings and enforced those tax laws.
Liana shakes her head.
It wasn't you. That man had a tainted sphere, and he was using it to influence you.
The mayor leans back. He looks tired, as if a huge weight was dropped on him.
I don't deserve to continue as mayor of this town.
Dude, get over yourself. One of the guards steps forward.
That's not true.
I look over at the voice and recognize him as one of the guards formerly controlled by shadow magic.
I know what it's like when he used that magic. All I could think about was how I could become an honor guard. The thought was overwhelming and I'd do anything to achieve it. I know that wasn't the real you, Mayor.
The other formerly controlled guard steps forward and nods.
Me too. Little Garrett still plays with the toy sword you gave him for his birthday. Says he's practicing for when he joins the guard too.
The other guards in the room murmured their assent.
There's nobody who can run this town better than you.
The mayor glances at the hopeful faces of his guard. In this small town, I can believe that he knows each of them by name. Finally, he gives them a weak smile.
I suppose somebody needs to clean up this mess.
He gets back to his feet and turns to us.
I don't know how to thank you for what you've done for us.
Money would be nice. Apparently, you seem to have extra. Liana smiles warmly.
I'm glad we were able to help.
Zack and I nod.
You must be exhausted. Please, feel free to stay at Raven Pass for as long as you like. You are always welcome here.
Thank you.
The three of us leave the mayor to his business and head out of the mansion. Once outside, I glance up at the darkening sky. Liana mirrors my movements.
We should rest up for the night.
Agreed.
I nod.
I saw the inn back towards the shops.
Zack leads the way. After turning down a side street, we see the light sign for the Hogshead Inn. I stifle a yawn as we head inside. Zack and I sit down at a table when Liana speaks with the innkeeper. She returns with 2 room keys, looking a bit shocked. Wordlessly, she passes one to Zack. What's going on?
The innkeeper refused to let us pay for the rooms or food. Said it was by order of the mayor, and one he would happily oblige.
That was really nice of him. Another silence falls over us, but this one feels natural and not a bit uncomfortable. After a few minutes, the staff brings out 3 steaming bowls and places one in front of each of us. Once the bowl hits the table, Zack digs in with gusto and practically inhales his food. Liana and I share a look before we grab our spoons. Stew again? She nods.
It's hearty and filling.
Grab it again?
Actually, this time it's venison.
I take a bite. I have had venison before. Yeah, it just tasted like other meat I've had. Just tastes like stew to me. I try not to wince every time I use my spoon. The fire has out of my body, but my shoulder still throbs from when I landed on the ground. Liana glances at me, then gets up and walks back to the innkeeper. She returns for the compress at her hand. She offers it to me with a smile.
This should help with the pain.
I hold it against my shoulder and smile appreciatively as the pain slowly melts into a dull ache.
Thanks for helping me back there.
I smile. Anytime. I continue digging into my meal. So, what exactly makes shadow magic bad?
It's far more dangerous than any other elemental magic, and it's incredibly unstable and volatile.
They kinda holler, aren't it? It's like magic, it's crazy.
The most serious thought of shadow magic is how it's able to amplify the shadowy thoughts of someone's mind.
So the treasurer was manipulating what the mayor was already feeling. She nuts.
He might have wanted to help the town by looking to expand, but there's also a bit of selfishness on his part for wanting to do that too. Either greed from more money coming in and more luxurious goods, or wanting more fame and recognition.
Everyone has thoughts like that. It's just a matter of keeping those thoughts in check.
Shadow magic, unfortunately, lets those desires loose in a destructive way.
Is there any way to block against it?
Unless you are a mage, not really.
Liana picks at her foot.
Most people can't control the magic well, and it's very easy for it to backfire and cause more harm to the caster than the intended target.
The treasurer seems to be handling it well. She looks even more worried.
I know. Which is even more troubling, considering the fact that shadow magic is outlawed in Havengard.
Yes. Zack pushes his now empty bowl away from him.
I think he's part of Void.
Liana's frown deepens.
I think so too. I noticed the branding on his forearm.
What's Void?
They're practitioners of shadow magic. They first rose to power during the struggle of the Three Kingdoms, before the Treaty of Asaria. They wanted to grow their power in the outreach of shadow magic, and a lot of innocent people were killed in the process. At the height of their power, they grew so powerful and were so destructive that the Three Kingdoms had to set aside their differences and band together.
That's when the treaty was formed. Part of the agreement was to outlaw shadow magic.
Are you really telling me it took 3 kingdoms to take down one cult?
Shadow magic is a lot more powerful than any other elemental magic. Which is why there are people who still want to practice it. It's impossible to stabilize the magic, so it's deemed too dangerous to be used.
Or maybe that's just your mage propaganda. Zack nods. I see. No wonder both Liana and Zack seem so grim when they first noticed the shadow magic. I stifle another yawn.
Is everyone done eating?
Zack and I both nod.
Then I suggest we head to bed.
I second that motion. I'm exhausted.
I know.
She grins and I can feel a rush of warmth to my face. I guess she saw my yawn. Zack leads the way upstairs, clutching one of the keys. We stop in front of 2 adjoining doors.
Well, good night then.
Good night. Zack nods. Liana turns the key and lets herself into the room. Then gently closes the door behind her. Zack also turns the key and lets himself into the second room. As I'm about to follow him in, the door slams shut. Very funny. I turn the handle, but it's locked. What the hell? Zack, let me in. He ignores me, so I pound on the door. Come on, let me in. Jerk. He doesn't answer, but a couple of people poke their heads out of their rooms and glare at me. This is ridiculous. I knock on Liana's door. Liana? She opens the door a crack, then pulls it open all the way when she recognizes me. Her brows are creased with worry.
Is something wrong?
Zack being mean. Zach locked me out of the room. She blinks.
Really? Is that it?
And I need to get in there?
Alright, then get in there.
How? She
I'm
smirks.
sure you'll figure it out. Good night.
What the hell? That didn't go as expected. I continue hammering repeatedly on the door. I can keep this up all night. Suddenly, the door swings open and I walk in. The first thing I notice are the two twin beds. Zack lounges on one and fixes his stony gaze on me. What the hell was that? Why didn't you let me in?
No space.
There are two beds. Zack ruthlessly walks over to the other bed and pulls back the blankets. Tucked inside the bed are both of his dischargers. Not cool, man. Not cool. I go to remove the weapons.
What are you doing?
This is my bed.
But then where will they sleep?
I just look at him. Finally, he sighs and collects his dischargers. What the hell? I lie back in the bed, and as soon as my head hits the pillows, I am asleep. I'm rudely awoken by boisterous yells. As I blink my eyes open, I see the pongo planted on Zack's face. What is going on? Zack leaps off the bed, continuing his scolding, and the pongo scurries under the pillow. I think he scared him.
Get out of there!
He snatches the pillow to reveal the pongo contentedly flopping over his dischargers. The pongo's eyes are slitted shut, and he wears a silly grin.
Don't even think about it!
Zack scoops up his dischargers and forcefully gives them a shake. The pongo's eyes snap open as he wobbles in the air, clinging for dear life.
Boy!
Zack doesn't cease his shaking, and somehow the pongo seems to be hanging on.
Boy!
Which is weird because he doesn't have hands, or feet, or anything. His small body jiggles up and down until he finally bounces to the floor.
Boy!
Oh, excuse me. He glares daggers at Zack, who is too busy inspecting his dischargers to notice. There's a sharp knock on the door. Barely comprehending what's going on, I shuffle to the door and open it a crack.
I heard yelling. Is everything oh?
She cuts off mid-sentence and her eyes grow wide. I look behind me and see Zack dangling his dischargers high in the air, while the pongo leaps up to reach it.
These aren't for you to absorb!
Boy!
Uh,
I'll just wait for you guys downstairs.
Before I can answer, she turns around and walks away. I can't blame her for that. I close the door and start getting dressed. A long while later, I emerge from the room with the pongo sitting on my head. Zack has his dischargers back in their holsters and shoulders his pack. We head downstairs and meet Liana, who is waiting at one of the tables.
Is everyone ready?
Yep.
Yeah. As long as that thing doesn't come near my dischargers again.
Boy!
The pongo sticks out his tongue. Liana speaks before the two of them can start again.
Alright, then let's hit the road!
With one final nod, she leads the way out of the inn and back into town. The rest of the journey towards Illumia is peaceful, yet uneventful. The pongo sneezes on my head for most of the way there. Liana frequently sneaks a peek at him and smiles to herself. Zack keeps to himself and continues to be in the lead for fewest lines spoken. By By midday, I can see the stone buildings of Illumia. We make it through the city gates without incident. Unlike the quaint houses of Meadow Hill Village, Illumia is built taller and grander. There's more noise as people fill the streets. Zack stares down the side street.
This is me.
I crane my neck and peer into an alcove.
It's a shortcut to the inn.
And that's
Safe travels. Hopefully our paths will cross again.
Good luck at the Mage Academy.
he heads into the alley. You think we'll see him again? She shrugs.
Mercenaries have a way of just popping up. Let's keep moving. The Mage Academy is straight ahead, closer to the center of town.
She points to the Leaning Tower with a high steeple. As we get closer, I see that the tower is attached to a castle. Oh, you stepped here?
Yep.
Wow. It definitely looks prestigious. She notices my wonder.
What's your academy like?
The campus is a lot smaller. We don't have a big research facility either. But at least that means class sizes are a lot smaller too, so we can get more individualized attention from our professors. Leona smiles fondly.
Only those with a natural talent for magic are accepted into the Mage Academy. I learned everything I know about casting from my mentor here. Hopefully he's here today.
We begin making our way down the grand streets of Illumia. Once we arrive at the academy, Leona pushes right through the wrought iron gates and leads me across the expansive quad. Students pass by in flocks, chatting animatedly. Each of them wears nearly identical long cloaks, differing only in color. Leona glances excitedly at a girl wearing a white cloak. Do you know her?
No, but we're in the same house.
What does that mean?
You can tell by her cloak. White means she's learning wind magic.
I pay more attention to the specific colors. There's white, red, blue, and green. I bet I can guess which color represents what. Wind is white. Leona nods. Red is fire, blue is water, and green is earth. She
You
grins.
got it.
Yep. Very standard. We walk past an enclosed field. A young man wearing a green cloak holds a book in one hand, and with his other hand aims his manipulator straight ahead of him. His mouth is pressed in concentration, and beads of sweat line his forehead. After a few tense minutes, the earth rumbles beneath him, and dirt spikes shoot out of the ground. That was awesome.
Come on!
Leona pulls on my arm, reverting my attention back to the task at hand. We enter the east wing of the castle and into an open foyer. There are only a scattering of students wandering these halls, and most are accompanied by an adult wearing long black robes. I assume they must be the professors. Leona scans each professor we pass as if looking for someone specific. She leads me up a winding staircase and grins when she spots an older man with graying hair. His robes are pleated with white stripes, and he carries a staff in one hand.
Professor Orin!
He turns at the sound of his name and matches Leona's grin.
Leanna, one of my best and brightest. What a pleasant surprise.
She smiles bashfully at the compliment.
It's great to see you again.
What brings you to the academy?
Actually, I'm here on official business. I'm sure you've heard of the random concentrations of magical energy by now. Well, I found someone who was directly impacted.
She gestures to me. I shift awkwardly as his gaze falls on me. Although he looks intently at me, I can sense his curiosity.
What exactly do you mean by impacted?
I was investigating a report of unusual magic energy in Meadowhill, and it turns out the concentrated energy originated from him.
Professor Oren raises a skeptical eyebrow.
That level of energy would tear a human apart from the inside. Are you sure you weren't mistaken?
My manipulator read the energy level. Maybe we can use the Academy's equipment to scan him again.
Yes, let's do that.
He motions for us to follow him, then turns down the hallway. We arrive in a spacious room. There's a large device on one end of the room, which is separated by a wall of glass. The device has two panels on the side, which stretch up about 8 feet off the ground. On the other side of the room are a handful of students and professors. They consistently focus their manipulators in what I assume to be magical tests, and every so often jot down notes. A couple of pongos openly roam about the room, well seen and dark by the people. If one wanders a little too close to a crystal, a student chases it away. Otherwise, they leave each other be. I thought you said pongos weren't really welcomed in society? Kauna looks fondly around the room, a reminiscent smile on her face.
They aren't, but mages tend to like them. Pongos absorb residue energy on the mage from casting, which is surprisingly nice. Kind of feels like a gentle massage.
Professor Oren gives her a soft nudge.
Go ahead.
She nods and turns to me.
We're gonna take another scan of you now.
You're talking about that huge thing behind the glass, right?
Yeah. It looks intimidating, but it functions the same way as my manipulator.
Alright. One of the students leads me to the device and has me stand between the two panels. There's a crystal mounted on top of each portal. Wait, let's... Strange. Alright, I'm gonna have to look into that. Because it seems like it's totally silent, but like my capture is showing that there's sound. And I don't know where that's coming from. I don't know if there's like static or something, which would be really annoying if it's been going on this whole time, but I'll have to listen to that later. Oh, freaking wrong screen. As he closes the glass door behind him, the quiet mumbling of voices is muted into silence. Ooh. A beam of soft light emits between the crystals and slowly descends towards my head, passing through my torso and disappearing at my feet. Once the light is gone, the same student lets me back into the room. Professor Oren looks grave, while Liana's mouth is pressed into a firm frown.
This can't be right. Maybe we should scan him again.
Liana, the levels that you reported would have killed this young man.
Even so, how is it possible that this scan shows he has 0 magical energy?
She holds out her manipulator just as when we first met. A pale light glows. Unlike our initial meeting, as she holds her manipulator closer to me, the light remains unchanged. Liana's face falls. Professor Oren puts a comforting hand on her shoulder.
Had he just cast it? Perhaps it was magical residue which you had read. As you know, that tends to slowly leave the body after each magic use.
She shakes her head.
It was too high a reading to just be residue.
The last time Leona used her scanner thing on me, that little glowy light was pulsing like crazy. Like it was almost flatlined, it was beeping so much. Professor Oren seems intrigued.
Then perhaps it was a faulty reading from your manipulator.
Perhaps.
I can hear the skepticism in her voice. It seemed to be working fine before. Leona shakes her head as if asking me not to continue.
I should get back to my students, but I hope I get to see you again.
Professor Oren gives Leona's shoulder one last comforting squeeze before he leaves. While our discussions have been taking place, I noticed the Pongos would watch me with interest. The green ones start to gravitate toward us. Maybe it's interested in Leon's magic, but then why does it look like it's heading towards me?
Polly?
I look down and see my wobbly blue friend at my feet. Hey, you're back. He bounces on the ground and fixes me with his wide smile. Suddenly, he stops and stares at the green Pongo, who blinks back at him. He hops towards it and grins.
Poi. Poi poi. Poi.
My Pongo's eyes widen.
Poi. Poi poi.
The green Pongo grins and hops away, and my Pongo follows it. I have no idea what just happened, but I feel all the warm and fuzzy inside. As the Pongos run off, a professor in a wheelchair rolls towards us. Although he's lost all his hair, he doesn't seem as old as some of the others.
Leona.
Professor Xavier. Yeah. She doesn't bother containing hers.
Professor Xavier.
The Professor Xavier? Wait, your name is Professor Xavier?
Yes. Have we met before?
Professor Xavier teaches the effects magic has on the human body, including any genetic mutations from frequent use of magic channeling.
My eyes grow wide as I gape at him. Professor X teaches about mutants. The two of them share concerned glances.
Professor, is there something I can help you with?
Leona, how high was your original energy reading?
In the thousands.
He creases his brow and ponders quietly.
Tell me, are you familiar with the theory of temporal rifts?
No one now. We both shake our heads.
In the most basic sense, a temporal rift occurs when the fabric of the universe is torn. In the midst of this tear, there is a moment where the parallel worlds overlap.
Leona and I glance sharply at each other. Would it be possible to cross between these worlds?
It may be in theory, but it'd be very difficult. After all, that type of travel between worlds would require an immense amount of energy, an amount that no human would be able to manipulate and survive. That's why most elders have dismissed this as nonsense, but listening to all that's been said today, it coincides quite closely with this theory.
For the first time since we have arrived at this school, I begin to feel a glimmer of hope. What more can you share about this theory?
Well, not much, I'm afraid. As I said, most consider it to be either nonsense or too inconsequential to waste their time on. Although there is one man who spent his life developing and researching this theory. He used to be an instructor of this academy.
Is he still in Illumia?
Unfortunately, he left many years ago in search of Ember Mist.
Liana purses her lips.
The hidden city.
If it's hidden, I'm guessing it will be hard to find. Before I can respond, a student with 2 long pigtails strides over.
Please allow me to accompany you on your quest.
Absolutely not.
Could you elaborate on your disapproval? This is an excellent opportunity to further my research and education.
This is not a Mage Academy-sponsored expedition, so there won't be mages around to protect you. It's a dangerous journey, especially given the fact that no one knows the location of Ember Mist.
The girl stays silent, and I can practically see the cogs in her head spinning as she contemplates his words. Finally, she nods.
Understood.
As soon as she finishes speaking, she turns on her heel and walks away. What just happened?
Pay her no mind. That's just how she is.
Who is she?
That's Amelia Estelle, the university's prodigy. She's only a teenager, but already a mage caster, which means she can manipulate 2 different elements at the same time.
I flash her a grateful smile for automatically explaining what a mage caster is. I'm guessing mage casters are usually a little older than a teen. Liana grins.
Just a little. Most mage casters are in their 40s.
My eyes widen. She must really be something special then.
Anyway, thank you for all of your help, Professor.
I'm sorry I wasn't able to be more helpful, but I wish you the best of luck on your journey.
After saying goodbye, his wheelchair moves on its own and pushes him out of the room. Oh, did his wheelchair just move by itself?
Not quite. He's using wind magic to push it along.
The more I see magic in use, the more I wish I could use it.
What did you think of everything the professor said?
It sounds like exactly what happened to me. We should find this Ember Mist City and talk to the professor there.
Unfortunately, no one knows how to get there. Let's stop by the inn. Since it's a hub for travelers from all over, there's bound to be someone who knows something.
That sounds like our best course of action. Once agreed, Liana leads the way out of the academy. I follow her through the twisting roads of Illumia. When asked why we were taking so many turns, she said she wanted to avoid the marketplace, which would be so crowded with people we wouldn't be able to walk through. Soon we reached the inn. The place is a lot larger than any other inn we've stayed at so far. Yet it looks exactly the same. Along with the smoothly crafted dining tables, there's a fireplace along the far wall with labeled jars on the mantel. The place is fairly busy for this time of day, and only a couple of tables are open. Per usual, Liana speaks with the innkeeper, as he point towards a couple by the fireplace. When she returns, she drops a key in my hand.
Here's the key to your room. I figured we're going to be spending the night here.
I nod as I pocket my key.
The innkeeper doesn't know how to get to Ember Mist, but he says that that couple comes from the far desert. They might know.
Hey, okay, I think I'm getting a little hoarse, and I'm running a little low on water. And yeah, I thought this was voiced a little. I hope there's gonna be more voicing later on when more characters come in. But yeah, I've been talking a lot more than I thought I would. So I need to take a break. I'm gonna end the stream for tonight. And oh well, it's about time for me to end the stream anyways. Okay, so if you enjoyed what you saw, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and follow. Hit the bell for notifications. I'm on Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube. All at Bruce Jinx. Check my Twitch schedule, or follow my Twitter to see any last minute changes to the schedule. There was something else I wanted to say, and I forgot. But tomorrow, I'm going to keep on playing other games, probably Battleship Brigade. I'll come back to this next week. And yeah, thanks for hanging out, thanks for chatting, thanks for supporting the stream. I really appreciate it. Hope you enjoyed, and hope to see you at the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye!